Welcome to the channel. My name's Mike, and in this quarantine bubble back behind me, I'm in the beginning stages of building a 28-foot long powerboat based upon Doug Hyland's bowler design. In the last episode, we got to start building the station molds that the hull's going to be shaped around, and in this episode, we're going to get that process finished up. Thanks for joining me. Good morning. So while we have a sunny day for a change, although it's in the high 20s, I figured I'd walk you over here and let you see the shed from the outside, at least a little bit. I think we're at 39 feet long and about 18 feet at the base. And I can perch myself precariously on an 8-foot ladder and reach the peak. So whatever that translates to in safe terms. So today, with this big stack of finished molds that we have cut from the other day, we're going to take the template pieces that we have and gang them all up and route them out to their finished shape, and hopefully I'll go ahead and start putting those together and maybe get a handful of them done this afternoon. Let's get going. Okay, moving on, we're going to get the first pair trim routed out. So I'm putting them these two station halves face to face. I'm going to try to protect that the factory finish so that I can ride on it. And we lay the template on top. Looks like for the most part there's somewhere around 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch that we'll be routing off. Looking good, looking good. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to screw this together, make a sandwich out of it, and space the screws far enough in where the router base doesn't hit it. And then I picked up this bit. It's a 3/4 flush cut because it has this bearing right here. It's the same size as the cutting diameter. And it has a down shear to it, but we'll see if that makes any difference. And that's how we're going to go about it. So I'm going to kick it into fast forward now, get a stack of them done. So the last thing to do, now that it's all cut out and trimmed up, is to transfer my water lines that I have on my template, as well as 2 points here that are pulled off the plan. And what these points are measurements off of the center line. And then once I put these, the 2 halves together, I can double this number and measure them from this point on each side. Just to make sure that the overall width is correct. Had I thought about this a little bit differently, perhaps I wouldn't have notched these in advance because there are points on the plans for the most part that coincide with those hard corners, and that might have been a little bit better way to go. But here we are now, and I think this is going to do us just fine. And that'll do it. That's one half of station 10. I'll now kick it into fast forward again and take care of the other half. And then I have the rest of the afternoon ahead of me with that pile over there. Well, there's the 14 stations routed out. I'm glad that's over with. That's a nasty, dusty, and loud experience. But it took me maybe 2 hours to go through all those. And I shudder to think of what it would have taken me to have to try to fare all that OSB had I cut those out individually and not use the templates. So I'm going to call it a day and get back out here tomorrow and get these taken apart, marked out, and then put together. Okay, today's going to be the home stretch on the molds. The goal will be to transfer the water line and a couple sets of reference marks off the template onto the molds themselves, take everything apart, join the two halves, check them against the plans to make sure that the widths are correct, and start stacking them up, get the shop cleaned out before we turn our attention to the strong back. Let's get going. So the last step is going to be to flip the mold over, make a cut from this corner, these inside corners, down and flaring outward a little bit. And that's going to enable me to take the mold and lift it over the strong back and set it back in place, and then reattach this part of the mold using these screws that I have on each side to index it right back into place. I know, another song. But at this stage of the build, everything to be done has to be done 14 times. And rather than have us all sit through that, I decided to zip through it and hopefully entertain you a little bit along the way. Let me know though in the comments below if you'd like me to take a different approach. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for the station molds. It took a little longer than I was hoping. As you can see, it's dark out there already. But the next step is going to be to get the shed cleaned out here and start putting together the strong back. Thank you for watching, staying with me this far as I work my way through both the video side of things, which is new to me, and the boat building, which isn't quite as new. And sometime in the near future, I'm going to introduce you to a previous project. But I hope you come back. I hope we come back and watch, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with you guys. Thanks a lot.